It's the first real big game of the season for Penny Hardaway's Tigers. It's Game 5 of Year 7. It's your unranked Memphis Tigers against the double champs, the back-to-back champs, Dan Hurley's UConn Huskies, also undefeated and ranked second in the AP poll. UConn is listed as an 8.5-point favorite. The total is 149.5. Are you optimistic, Bennett?
About winning? Maybe not going to go there. I mean, it's freaking UConn.
It is UConn.
Yeah, but again, it goes back to what we were kind of saying last week. You got yourself in a great position by going 4-0 to start this season with a couple nice wins in there to just get a free swing. And so this is great stuff. Like you're playing one of the best teams in college basketball. You get a free swing. If you lose, this loss is more than likely not going to hurt you at all on your resume. And if you win, then you can get really, really excited about some things. Plus, if you lose, you got other good opportunities coming up this week anyways.
I think you could feel good coming out of this as long as you don't get humiliated.
In the tournament, you mean, or in
just
this game?
This today.
Game, gotcha. Yeah.
I think you can feel okay. Game tips at 1:30, be done by 3:30.
Mm-hmm.
I think by 4 o'clock you're feeling okay, win or lose, as long as you don't get embarrassed.
I think so too.
Just don't get humiliated. Go out and play UConn tough. Don't make it where one of these. Don't go down 14-1.
Right.
Don't be down 64-35 in the second. Just don't get humiliated.
Yeah.
Go out and look the part. Nobody expects you to go out and beat the double champs on a neutral court the week of Thanksgiving. UConn is ranked second in the country. They're an 8.5-point favorite over you. You're not supposed to win the game. But I'm not ruling out the possibility that they could. 8.5-point underdogs win basketball games all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of everything attached to UConn right now, this specific team, it's all reputation based. I promise you, if UConn was named something else, Dan Hurley was somebody else, based on what they returned, even with what they've accomplished, they would not be ranked second in the country.
Mm.
You ready for this? Iowa State last year won 29 games in the toughest league in America, finished alone in second in that league, got a 2 seed in the NCAA tournament, and then returned the top 4 scorers from that team. And was like borderline top 5 in the preseason AP poll, and people took issue with that. People were like, really, Iowa State?
Mm-hmm.
How can you put Iowa State in the top 5? Well, they won 29 games last year in the toughest league in America, finished second in that league behind only Houston, got a 2 seed in the NCAA tournament, and returned the top 4 scorers. What are you talking about? But people took issue with that because it didn't sound right. Iowa State? Who's their pro? Taman Lipsey? Who is that? So people just rejected it out of hand, even though it is supported by real data.
Mm-hmm.
It's not entirely the same team, but it's the core of it's the same team that we've already seen be really good last season. All we're doing is asking them to be what they've already been. It's the top 4 scorers are all the same people. The coach is the same dude. That is not the case at UConn. UConn lost 4 starters. They brought back their least important starter. I say that respectfully, but the other 4 are in the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
And Alex Karabin would have been too had he entered the draft. I believe that. I think all 5 UConn starters would have been in the draft, would be in the NBA right now. But if you're ranking those 5, he was 5 of 5. And, if Stephon Castle and Donovan Clingan were the top end of the roster in terms of NBA talent, if Tristan Newton was top end of the roster in terms of college production, well, Alex Karabin would have ranked 5th of the 5 starters.
Mm-hmm.
He's the one that's back. They brought in a 5-star prospect in Liam McNeely, but it's not Cooper Flagg. It's not Ace Bailey. What I'm telling you is that if UConn was Iowa State, they'd probably be ranked 13th in the country, 16th in the country, 21st in the country. And you know what people would say? Yeah, they've been great, but they bring back 1 starter.
Mm-hmm.
They lost 4 starters. They're asking a bunch of guys who have been role players to be something other than that. Yeah, they brought in a 5-star freshman, but it's not it's not Cooper Flagg. Yeah, they brought in a high-profile transfer, but it's not Chaz Lanier. It's not Kadari Richmond. UConn is ranked second in the country right now because people just see UConn, they see Dan Hurley, and they say that must be great. And I want to be clear, they might be great. They might be great. They might win a 3rd straight national championship. But we don't know that they're great yet. The collection of people who are going to be in UConn uniforms today, we've never seen them be great. Not against competent competition, because like Memphis, they are 4-0. But at least Memphis has played Missouri, UNLV, San Francisco. UConn's played nobody.
Right.
They played Sacred Heart, Lemoyne, Texas A&M Commerce, and New Hampshire. Those teams are ranked in order: 321, 334, 350, and 354 at KenPom. They've been like 35-point favorites in every game and won every game by like 35 points. You know, they just we don't know anything about them.
Yeah.
What we might find out today is that, surprise, surprise,
It's UConn.
It's
right?
UConn, and Dan Hurley's got another awesome team.
Right.
I want to be very clear about that. I'm just saying, if I'm Penny Hardaway and I'm trying to make my guys believe we can do this, and maybe you don't have to make them believe. Maybe they already believe, right? Maybe coming from behind over and over again against not great teams, but good ones. Maybe they've gotten to a point where they believe they can go do this.
The Gary Parrish Show, live weekdays at 10 a.m.